All right, now look, today I'm going to show you guys how I love to make my tortellini soup. So let me just show y'all what I got going on here today, honey. So I'm going to be using some spinach and ricotta tortellini with Parmesan cheese. I get the family size pack. I have some fresh spinach, garlic, about a half a cup of roughly chopped celery, a half a cup of roughly chopped carrots, and a half a cup of some white onion. The neutral oil that I'll be working with is avocado oil, some sun-dried tomatoes, the boursin, garlic, and herb spreadable cheese. I have a bundle of fresh kale here. I have 16 ounces of the spicy Italian sausage. You can use the mild or sweet. You're going to need some heavy whipping cream. And I also have some pecorino romano and then a few additional spices that I'll talk to you guys about in a few moments. You see that? You see that? You see that? Don't ask me for the damn ingredient list. Come on, child. First things first, going ahead and add in a little bit of that avocado oil. Into the pan, we're going to go right on in and add in the celery, the carrot, and the onion. And I don't know about you, but I always like to take the tips of the garlic off. I can't be bothered with it. Mince up your garlic. Remember that we are going to be adding in pork to this, so be mindful of how much salt you add. As I always say, you can always add salt, but you can't take it away. This is about how much I'll be putting in there right now. That was probably about a half a tablespoon. Your crushed black peppercorn. Optional, but I feel like it needs it. Even if you do use the spicy, I still like to put it in there. But just a few dashes of crushed red pepper flakes. You can add in as many or as little as you would like. It's really a matter of preference. And just a few dashes of Italian seasoning. I would say roughly about a teaspoon worth. Give all of that a good mix. And remember to make sure your heat is not up too high. The broth that we will be using today is the premium Better Than Bouillon roasted chicken base. I've added in 2 large tablespoons to 6 cups of hot water. We can now go on ahead and add in all of that delicious garlic and continue to give this a mix. Don't worry about adding in any more oil to the pot because we're about to add in the pork in just a few moments, and that's going to put in a lot of oil. Now, in regards to the pork, if you want to make this with ground beef, you can do that. If you want to make it with ground turkey, you can do that. If you want to make it without meat completely, you can do that. Just know that if you're going to use ground beef or ground turkey, you're going to have to adjust the seasonings because you're probably going to need a little bit more seasoning than what I'm going to be using today. The pork is going to naturally cause this to be a little bit saltier. So, you're going to have to adjust accordingly if you start to swap out ingredients. Now for my sun-dried tomatoes, I'm going to be chopping down about 5 large ones. You can put more, you can put less. That's completely up to you. This is about how fine I've chopped it down, and I would say this is probably about 4 tablespoons worth, but once again, you can add in as much or as little as you would like in regard to the sun-dried tomato. Oh, this pot is smelling so amazing. I hope you guys have been enjoying my month full of soups. I hope that you guys have been checking them all out. If this is your first video that you're coming across, just know that for the entire month of October in 2024, I have posted 3 recipes a week for you guys. So if this is your first one, just go back and check them out because I got a bunch of them available for y'all. We can now go ahead and add our ground pork to the pot. Break that up and make sure that it is evenly distributed. Now you can slowly start to increase the heat, but I would say no more than a 3 or 4. You do not want any of this to burn. Now, while your soup is cooking, because I'm using fresh and organic kale here, I need to make sure that I take this over to the sink and properly clean this. So I'm going to chop this down, take it over to the sink, wash it in kosher salt and vinegar, just like I would do any of my collard greens and stuff like that, and then we'll add it to the pot. But please do not skip this step and get lazy. Make sure that you are properly cleaning these off. All right, now if you've never cleaned kale before, it really is not that difficult. So I'm only going to show you this the one time. The stem, you do not want. You literally just take it, you peel it back, remove it from the stem. The stem you can discard. This is the green leaf. This is what you will be consuming. This typically has a lot of dirt and stuff built into it, sometimes worms, especially if you're getting it organic. I'm then going to rip it up like so, put it in my sink full of salt, cold water, scrub it together with some coarse kosher salt so that it can work as an abrasive to get off any of the dirt. We'll drain it off and then we can add it to the pot. I have gone in and removed the stem from the kale. I'm covering it up with cold water and I'm going to go in with a hefty amount of coarse kosher salt. This is going to work as an abrasive so that I can rub them together and get off any leftover dirt, bugs, or debris. I'm going to do this about 2 times and then I'll strain it through cold water in the last step. There's a lot of nasty stuff floating around in there. Don't be nasty and skip this damn step. Once your greens are nice and clean, put them in a colander and just let the excess water drain off and set it to the side. Alrighty, party people, the pork is all done, so we can now go on ahead and add in that delicious kale directly to the pot. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, the reason why we're adding this in now is because the kale is going to take significantly longer to cook than the spinach. The spinach won't be getting added into the pot until like the last 5 minutes of the cooking. So I'm going to allow this to kind of saute up for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll go on ahead and add in our chicken broth. Our kale has broken down beautifully, so I'm now going to go on ahead and add in all of that delicious stock. My God. And now go on ahead and give this a nice mix. We will be adding in only half of our Boursin garlic and herb cheese, so you can take that and add that directly to the pot and allow that to melt down. Now that my beautiful pot is starting to come up to a simmer, I'm going to go on ahead and add in all of that delicious tortellini and give that a good mix as well. And I know y'all hate when I say this, but I'm telling you, a majority of the reasons for why people don't like to cook is not because of the actual act of cooking itself, is that they don't like to have to deal with the million dishes. But if you're clean as you go, it'll just make your life a lot easier. Clean as you go, my babies. You'll thank me later. We're almost done. I'm going to go in and give the broth a taste to see if I need any additional seasonings before I add in the spinach. Here we go. First taste. It's spot on. A little bit of spice, a little bit of saltiness. Honestly, I might not even add the cream to this. I think I like this just the way that it is. Let me add in the spinach. Come on. I'm going to go on ahead and add in that handful of the spinach. You can leave that out if you want. It's completely up to you. I'm just trying to jam pack as many veggies in here as possible. And by the time this spinach finished cooking, this dish will be completely done. I've decided that I'm not adding in any heavy cream to this or half and half. I like this just the way it is. If anything, when I plate it up, I think I'm going to top it off with some fresh cherry tomatoes. But yeah, no, I like this just the way it is. I don't want to add in any heavy cream to this. Oh my God. Now that my spinach has wilted down just the way I like it, I'm going to turn the heat off because, baby, this is all done. And that there, my loves, is how I make my tortellini soup. I topped it off with some fresh cherry tomatoes, some pecorino romano, and just a fresh slice of a sun-dried tomato. And that's it. Let's go in for a taste test. All right, y'all, let's go in for a taste test. This is about to be super, super hot. Ooh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Okay, here we go. That is love in a bowl. Go make this delicious soup. Yes.